Welcome to the Talk podcast with ideas strategist Linda Reed-Enever. Talk is where we chat about ideas and inspiration you can use to market your business. Get ready for practical tips you can implement today with your host, Linda Reed-Enever.
Okay, whether you're starting your journey working with the media or you're an experienced business owner working with the media, this is an activity that I like to do with my clients, and it's all about mapping out our media year. It helps us plan for the year ahead using evergreen and proactive techniques, along with flagging and highlighting potential events that we can react and tap into. Some people use a spreadsheet for this, others use a calendar, but the key is to be ahead of the game in the knowledge that releases need to go out ahead of time because the media works 90 to 120 days ahead of time. So the first thing we're going to do is go through a calendar and flag dates for evergreen content. Now, depending on your industry, these could include things like New Year's resolutions, Australia Day, back to school, Valentine's Day, Easter, school holidays, public holidays, awareness days such as the world's greatest shave, Pink Ribbon Day, end of financial year, Halloween, Christmas, New Year's festivities, New Year's goal setting. You get the drift. So go through and have a look at those key dates. In the same time, have a look at any industry bodies or reports that are going to come out so that you can flag those, so that you can write your responses. I have one client who does an RBA update regularly live. He doesn't particularly do it out for press releases, but it could make a good press release strategy because he's a property investor. And he flags that the RBA update comes out on whatever day that it does. I don't know because it's not my area. And he makes sure that he is doing updates regularly for his people. And it's a great way to make sure that you've mapped out your media year and you're planning ahead. Then you need to go through your business activities for the year and flag any events that might be proactive for your press release content. So it could be a product launch, it could be sales that you have coming up throughout the year, it could be changes in premises if you're moving to a new location. It can also be the events that you're running throughout the year. You might be attending a third-party event or a conference. You might be applying or going through an awards process, and you include PR throughout that process as well. And while reactive PR tends to involve around current news, there are times throughout the year where we are more likely to be able to comment on something. So we want to add to our calendar the dates of industry body and annual meetings, any elections that might be coming up, federal or state budgets coming up, the dates that their findings and reports that are going to be used. And we want to create a successful spreadsheet and a list of ideas to write across the year. Then in our spare time, we want to be proactive. And quite often, this is our quiet times for business. Quite often happens around January or February. We want to create an article bank and a list of ideas about where we can share those stories. And so that when we do need to get those press releases out, we've got a good bank of content to be able to dive into and share out with our potential audiences. As you map out your media year, you want to map out the publication deadlines. So when are the deadlines? When do they write on Christmas? When do they write on whatever topics? And a good way to do that is to download the advertorial calendars and see when the advertorial submissions are due for those particular publications, because that's going to give you a bit of an idea about how far you need to be working ahead with your stories. Because if they're selling ads on a deadline, guess what? The stories that are going to be relating to those publications are going to be on a deadline, on a very similar deadline as well. And then reach out to your journalists, have a chat to them and say, okay, I'm being proactive with my media this year. What stories are you working on? What do you think I can help? Is there anything that I could help you with that's coming up? And work on those relationships that you've already established with the media. Because by doing that, by mapping out our media year, we are proactive about our PR. We are less reactive and we've got our foot forward. And if you're using things like the marketing planner, you can plan out those releases and make sure that you're getting them out there and submitting it out. And then finally, as you're mapping out your PR year, look for new journalists to connect with. Look for new submission sites that you can get involved with, and look for places that you can guest post and you can guest contribute and podcast as well, because you can then be looking to spend maybe half an hour a week where you're pitching yourself forward to different outcomes and different publications, to be a podcast guest or to have an article published along the way, because you've got that amazing bank of content and you've mapped out your year ahead. Congratulations on forward thinking your PR year. What are some of the key things that you know are going to pop up this year? Write them down, get started, and get planning your PR journey.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Talk with Linda Reed-Enever. Make sure you subscribe via your favourite podcast app so you don't miss the next great episode. You can find more ideas and inspiration at enevergroup.com.au.